Hey, what's going on, guys? It's No Shoes, and we're back for another Technique Tuesday. Today, we're going to be reacting to You Never Know featuring Grae. This is suggested by Meant2Son, so thank you, Meant2, for the suggestion. Keep them coming in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you guys want to see more videos like this. But without any further ado, let's get to see what Immortal Technique and Grae have to say. Let's see what You Never Know is all about. Let's get it.
On her way to becoming a college.
Okay. Before we get into the bars, nice intro here. Guitar has a great feel to it. Nice, spacey. You can feel it dissipating into the room. And then you got a little bit of fuzz back behind it. Just a little bit of, maybe that like analog warmth. Just a little bit of imperfection in there. It's a great feel. And let's see what else comes with these lyrics. Let's get it.
She was on her way to becoming a college graduate. Wouldn't even stop to talk to the average kid. The type of Latina I'd sit and contemplate marriage with. Fuck the horse and carriage shit. Her love was never for hire. Disciplined, intellectual.
First of all, just that first little rhyme chain, we went from graduate to average. Not super close, but the amount of syllables and with some slight bending, Immortal makes that fit really well. That's a great combination. Let's keep it rolling.
She was on her way to becoming a college graduate. Wouldn't even stop to talk to the average kid. The type of Latina I'd sit and contemplate marriage with. Fuck the horse and carriage shit. Her love was never for hire. Disciplined, intellectual beauty's what I desire. Flyer than Selma Hayek or Jennifer Lopez. Everyone told me kicking it to her was hopeless. At first I just thought she didn't mess with broke kids. The thug niggas always talking about.
Okay, interesting. Let's bring this back. So there's a girl, she didn't mess with the average kids. She apparently seemed like she don't mess with broke people is what we're getting at right now. We'll see where that takes us. I just want to bring this back a little further.
Fuck the horse and carriage shit. Her love was never for hire. Disciplined, intellectual beauty's what I desire. Flyer than Selma Hayek or Jennifer Lopez. Everyone told me kicking it to her was hopeless. At first I just thought she didn't mess with broke kids. The thug niggas always talking about how they smoke kids. But the rich sniff coke kids got no play. I'm not even interested what her body language would say. Everyone around the way gave up trying to get in it. Cause didn't matter how good you.
Okay, interesting. So still catching up here, but it seems like Immortal Technique might be interested himself, or at least the character he is rapping as on this track. And then it seems like everybody else in the area, all the other dudes at school or, wherever they're running into each other, they, it seems like they're interested as well. But for whatever reason, nobody's good enough for her. Why is nobody good enough? What's the deal here? What is it that I think what it is what do we not know about her? What would we never know about this girl from what we can see on the surface? Right now he's describing everything from the outside. At some point we'll probably take a flip to the inside and see some more.
Got no play. I'm not even interested what her body language would say. Everyone around the way gave up trying to get in it. Cause didn't matter how good your game was, she wasn't with it. All the block bitches was jealous but wouldn't admit it. Talk shit and deny to everyone that they did it. Cause they regretted the long list of niggas that they let hit it. And no one ever gave them shit except McDonald's and did it.
Okay, hold up. Bring that back a little bit.
But all the block bitches was jealous but wouldn't admit it. Talk shit and and deny to everyone that they did it, cause they regretted the long list of niggas that they let hit it, and no one ever gave.
Okay, so then the other more promiscuous girls on the block, they don't like this girl. They, you know, she's got standards, whatever. They can see the parts of themselves they don't like in her, or what they would want themselves to be in her, something along those lines. So it seems like she don't got too many friends, this girl that we're talking about. The dudes, they aren't good enough. The girls, they don't like her. So who's she messing with? Is Immortal Technique gonna be the only one that can break through? Based on the fact that he's telling us the story, I would think so, but we'll find out.
Gave them shit except McDonald's and did it. Smoking weed with thoughts of envy whenever they lit it. She spoke intelligently and they bit it, always trying to copy. But when they tried to use her vocab, they sounded sloppy. She had a style all her own, respectful and pure. I was sick in the head for her, and there wasn't a cure.
That's cool. I was sick in the head for her, there wasn't a cure. Great feel to this first verse here. Nice, slow, thought out, just very much storytelling, which, if that wasn't obvious to you as it was to me, I don't know how to help you. but nah, nice story here so far. Great flow to it, nice pacing. Kind of reminds me of Atmosphere. He has a track called Became, where it's very similar, super cool, chill, low key, just talking about some events over a track. Let's see where the rest of this takes us.
And a cure. Brown and beautiful.
Nice break there with the hook, or we'll see if it repeats, but it probably will. Great choice having, I imagine, Jean Grae doing the vocal, adds in that feminine part of the track, kind of, evokes the feeling of that girl that Immortal's describing, as if Jean Grae might almost be her in this case. And then the layering was just a little bit strong on the hook section. You can hear it, especially kind of around the edges of her words. There's a slight like shimmer to it where you can feel those layers kind of impacting each other and their waves start to move together. I think just lowering those backing layers a little bit would help the track feel a little bit more cohesive, because Immortal's voice is so raw and just straightforward conversational on this track that really jumps out when you get to the hook. Or maybe if it was automated to fade in and fade out, so that way just some of the very like high sections of the hook could be accentuated by that stronger layering feeling. Bunch of different ways you could do it. Talking very slight adjustments here, but I'd be interested to see what it would sound like that.
Can't find a reason why God came between you and I. If I had the chance again, I'd never let you go. Hold tight to your love, 'cause you never know.
Her eyes were brown and beautiful, yet empty and sad. I used to talk to her occasionally, and she was glad that I wasn't just another nigga trying to get in it. So every now and then we'd stop and talk for a minute. I didn't have to.
So now we're taking a turn in the story over here. It's not just about the girl from the outside. Now he's talking to her. He's getting to know her. Apparently she sees him as different than the other guys, which, I can't say that I've ever come across anybody's music, at least, that's quite like Immortal Techniques. But let's see where it takes him.
So every now and then we'd stop and talk for a minute. I didn't have a gimmick, so the minutes turned to hours. On her birthday, I gave her a poem with flowers. Then I took her out to dinner after her cousin's baby shower. We talked about...
First of all, I know this ain't the type of poem he's talking about, but imagine like you're some girl and you meet like young Immortal Technique on the street and he's trying like, y'all getting together, he brings you a poem, he brings you some flowers, and then you open up the poem and you thought it was going to be something sweet, and it's just all about like corrupt governments and the horrors that have been perpetuated onto the population of the world. Like that would be the funniest twist ever, dude. He might not get a second date out of it, but I think it'd be worth it for the meme.
Hours. Then I took her out to dinner after her cousin's baby shower. We talked about power to the people and such. We spent more time together, but it was never enough. I never tried to sneak a touch or even cop a feel. I was too interested in keeping it real, perfectly honest and complete. She would always call me cariño and never technique. Bought me a new book to read every 2 or 3 weeks, forever changing the expression of my thoughts when I speak. It was because of her. I even indebted all of my freaks. She convinced me to stop.
Hold up, bring that back. So it sounds like she's become a very positive influence on his life, in the sense that, they went out to dinner, and kind of like I was jokingly mentioning, they went out to dinner and they talked about power of the people. And those more the conscious rap type topics. I could sit here all day and list a million different things that could all fit into those categories. But let's keep this going. Sounds like she's got him reading and a couple other things. Let's see where this goes.
Bought me a new book to read every 2 or 3 weeks, forever changing the expression of my thoughts when I speak. It was because of her. I even deaded all of my freaks. She convinced me to stop hanging out on the streets, to stop robbing and stealing from people like you. Instead, I took her out to the Apollo and the Bronx Zoo, Museo del Barrio, and the Metropolitan too. Got to the point where I was either with her or my crew. So I decided one day to tell her my feelings was true. I couldn't live without her, so I told her face of my fears. But honey's only response was a face full of tears. She could only sob hysterically, holding me tight. I tried to speak, but she...
Damn, that is not a good reaction. You tell a girl you like her and she just starts sobbing. That's a horror. Or maybe it's a good reaction. Maybe this is the twist. But yeah, just fantastic story here, man. Talking about and again, it's hard to know what's the reality here. How true is this story? Is this a fictional story based on some true events? Is this a true story that's been dramatized and somewhat fictionalized, or what's the crossover line? What's the inspiration? All that stuff. The fact of the matter is, I don't know. And maybe some of you out there do. So if you'd like to fill me in, that'd be great. But it's a great story about, he meets a girl, she inspires him to clean up his act, get off the streets, stop robbing and whatever else he was into, start going to museums and the zoo and all that, and taking her out to dinner and everything. It's a very interesting play, but what's gonna happen when she stopped crying and start answering questions? Is she down with it? Is she not into him? And where does he turn from there?
So I told her face of my fears, but honey's only response was a face full of tears. She could only sob hysterically, holding me tight. I tried to speak, but she wouldn't stop until I left sight. I felt like a moth who got himself too close to the light. Except I didn't burn, I turned cold after that night.
That's cool. Moth to the light, but also too close to the light. Didn't burn, almost, brings to mind images for me of like Icarus with your wax wings, flew too close to the sun type idea. But great storytelling here. Obviously she was not reciprocating his feelings, which is unfortunate. Sad to hear for our friend, but let's keep going deeper.
After that night,
Don't you know that time waits for no man, and our fate is all planned? I'm blessed just to know you, to be loved and the lost just to hold you all night. Can't find a reason why God came between you and I. If I had the chance again, I'd never let you go.
my life, college and my career ended up.
Something I think would be interesting about this track is, this is a 8 minutes basically. We're 10 seconds short of 8 minutes. And like I said, it's a very well-paced track. For something that's 8 minutes, you can't have it be a lot. You need to stretch that out, find those rest points, keep it calm and cool. But with the speed of Immortal's verse and then the speed of the hook, I think you could really have some fun in there where, the hook, it changes it up by giving us a new voice, obviously a new style because it's more singing instead of rapping. And then the production on the hook, while I might not be the biggest fan of it, does also provide us another change in what we're hearing. But I think it would be cool to see this track with a more energetic hook, something that would really kind of pump you into that next long section, so that way that energy kind of carries and then you chill out for a minute and then boom up and then you chill out for a minute, and that would be a cool flow to a cool structure for the track. But it's still working. It's working just fine the way it is.
Love, 'cause you never know.
I went on with my life, college and my career ended up locked up like an animal for a year, where the COs talk to you like they were the overseer. Then I got sent to the hole when my exit was near.
CEOs talking to you like they're the overseers. Overseers referencing plantations. CEOs, obviously, I think, like commanding officers or something. I can't think of the exact one off the top of my head, but the prison officers. And crazy story. Went to college, did all this, still ends up locked up only for a year, not the longest amount of time you can be in there. I wonder what changes over the course of that.
Locked up like an animal for a year, where the COs talk to you like they were the overseer. Then I got sent to the hole when my exit was near. At night in my cell, I'd close my eyes and I'd see her, hold her close in my dreams. But when I woke, she disappeared. Just an empty cell until the state gave me parole. In the summer, came back intact and on track. But the fact of the matter is I still felt cold. Even after my mother hugged me crying at home, my real niggas would catch me thinking out of my zone, fucking lots of different women. But I still felt alone, relatively well known.
Damn, okay. So basically now it's just nothing is filling the hole. He's in prison. Who is he thinking about? That girl from all those years ago who got him off the street, got him to start going to museums, doing this, that, and the other. Still holding on to that memory, still holding on to that time they spent together. And based on the story we hear, it sounds like there was never really any closure. He was just like, hey, you're awesome. I like you a lot. And she was like, and just starts running off, which whack, first of all, just like say something to the man. But point oh gosh, sometimes I make myself laugh way too much. Regardless, very interesting to see, the course of a life here. And the further we get in, the more and more curious I get if this is a true story. So please let me know if you do in the comments down below. Regardless, beautiful story. He gets out of prison. His mom, she can't fill the hole. His friends, they can't fill the hole. He feels alone. The women, all the countless random women, the one night stands, and whoever it might be, none of them can replace and help seal that void that one girl left.
Still felt cold, even after my mother hugged me crying at home. My real niggas would catch me thinking out of my zone, fucking lots of different women. But I still felt alone, relatively well known around the New York underground. But I kept thinking of her and how we used to be down. The sound of her voice and the beautiful smell of her hair. Though gone physically, somehow it was still there. I had to do something because the shit was too much to bear.
I want to bring that back just a little bit.
Her hair, though
Even further.
to be down, the sound of her voice and the beautiful smell of her hair. Though gone physically, somehow it was still there. I had to do something because the shit was too much to bear. So I went and visited the building where she used to live. The world looks a lot different after you do a bid. Your way of life done changed while primitive minds are still stuck in the same game. Like her cousin who was on the corner slinging cocaine stepped in a...
Okay, when you do a bid, I think doing a bid might also be a reference to prison time. Y'all are gonna have to forgive me for a little bit of ignorance in reference to the terminology here. But now he's talking about, how life changes. And, it's one thing to talk about a story where somebody went in for a year and coming out to see what's changed, see if the girl's still there, see if, who's around and what the world is like. But then, especially for people that spend so much more time in prison, some, 20 years, even 5 years, it'd be crazy. I can't imagine myself, man. And there's a show, if y'all have ever watched Community, while it's a comedic show, they one of the scenes that always stuck out to me is there's a professor there that he was in prison, he got out, now he teaches biology at a community college. Shows by Dan Harmon if you haven't seen it. Regardless, at one point he stops the class and he's like, "Hey man, what happened to Legos?" And everybody looks at him strange. Nobody knows what to say. And then he starts going on. He's like, "Look, like before I went to prison, like Legos were simple. Now they got all these kits, like thousands of pieces, this, that, and the other." And he's just curious, like, and I think it's more evocative of like what happened to the world. Where did all these complications come from? All this extra nonsense. And it was just a very interesting, like, small 10-15 second scene from the show that stuck out to me, and it lines up with what we're getting here.
Your way of life done changed while primitive minds are still stuck in the same game. Like her cousin who was on the corner slinging cocaine stepped in the lobby and tapped the button next to her last name. Her mom buzzed me up and hugged me up like a mother order, but her facial expression changed when I asked about her daughter.
I'd hate to predict this correctly, but I think the daughter is dead. That's my prediction right now. But let's see where it takes us. Great transitions, by the way. While I might not be the biggest fan of the hook, the style and production of it, it does transition well. And there's like nice cliffhangers here. I could almost see this being visualized as a as a TV show or a short film or whatever you want to make it. The hook would be like the commercials, and then each verse being a section. It would work very well.
No man, my fate is all planned. I'm blessed just to know you, to be loved, and I'm lost just to hold you all night. Can't find a reason why God came between you and I. If I had the chance again, I'd never let you go. Hold tight to your love, 'cause you never know.
She told me that there was a note for me that was left behind, and she had left it there waiting for such a long time. I was inclined to ask about it, but she brought it up first. I saw a tear swelling up in her eye, and then she cursed. She told me where the letter was, and I started thinking the worst. Reversed my position, stepped over and opened the door, and sure enough there was an envelope with my name on the floor. Nobody loves you more than me, cariño's what the letter said. By the time you get to...
Also, could y'all translate something for me? Cariños? I'm so curious. It seems like a term of endearment between the two of them. I'm just curious to see what the meaning behind that could be. But it seems like our worst fears have been realized. She wrote a letter, left it for Immortal Technique or whoever the character he is in this song. Not certain that this is a story about him, at least super directly. It might be removed slightly from the facts of the matter. Regardless, he finds the letter. Let's hear what it says.
Reversed my position, stepped over and opened the door, and sure enough there was an envelope with my name on the floor. Nobody loves you more than me, cariño's what the letter said. By the time you get to read this, I'll probably be dead. But when you left in 97, a part of me went to heaven. I thank God at least I got to know what love really was. But it hurt me to see what true love really does. Cause Cause even though we never made love, you were all that there was. It was because I loved you so much that I had to make you leave. You made me doubt the way I thought, you made me wanna believe. And then I slipped up and I let you get close to me. It was hard to not be
Interesting. Interesting, man. First of all, the layering. I believe they layered his voice with Gene to give us the feeling as if, this woman, we're hearing her voice dictate the letter directly underneath of Immortal Technique's voice. Works well, creates a great visual in my mind. I can almost, I could see it on a screen almost. But seems like, she perceived his effect on her almost as some form of weakness or something, where he challenged her ideals. The love was real. Maybe even if they never touched each other, it was still there, still palpable. And it was an emotional, it was an intellectual connection before anything physical, which, that's beautiful, man. There's lots of different types of connections out there. But let's see what else she's got to say.
all that there was. It was because I loved you so much that I had to make you leave. You made me doubt the way I thought, you made me wanna believe. And then I slipped up and I let you get close to me. It was hard to not be openly when people spoke to me. This was not the way I thought my life was supposed to be. Baby, don't you see? I had a blood transfusion that left me with HIV. Hope didn't exist for me since late in 1993. I died a virgin. I wish I could have given myself to you. I cried in the hospital cause there was no one else but you. Promise that you'll meet me in paradise inevitably. No matter what, I'll keep your love forever with me. What happened?
Wow. That's heavy, man. That's heavy. Imagine that, dude. Just you go into the hospital, get a blood transfusion so they can heal you, and they give you HIV. That's and then you die. That's horrific. And the only person who ever really touched you, at least emotionally, um you push them away, and they're not there to be with you through it or anything. And wow, just what a tale, man. There's so much. There's a good bit left to this track, a whole minute. So I'll digress for the moment, but wow.
93, I died a virgin. I wish I could have given myself to you. I cried in the hospital cause there was no one else but you. Promise that you'll meet me in paradise inevitably. No matter what, I'll keep your love forever with me. What happened for the rest of the day is still a blur, but I remember wishing that I was dead instead of her. She was buried on August 3rd. The story ends without a sequel, and now you know our technique. Don't fucking fall in love with people. Hold the person that you love closely if they're next to you. The one you love, not the person that simply has sex with you. Appreciate them to the fullest extent, and then beyond, cause you never really know what you got until it's gone.
Beautiful, man. And that's a great separation he makes there at the end. The person who loves you, not just the person who has sex with you. And talking about, hold them close, everything like that. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, but we've all lost friends, family, maybe a potential love interest. And the time isn't guaranteed whether or not somebody accidentally gets given AIDS in a blood trans or HIV in a blood transfusion or what have you. I had a friend a couple years younger than me pass away in the middle of the night in his sleep. He just never woke up, and I got one of the hardest to believe text messages I've ever read. It and it still hurts, man. So when you look around at people and you talking to them, that's something I try to remember is tomorrow's imaginary and yesterday's a memory. And honestly, if you really take it even further, the only thing we know we have is this second right now that we're seeing, and that shit is fleeting. So let's not to get too heavy at the end of this, with not that it's not a heavy song already, but go y'all go tell someone that you love them today. And if you can't do that, go give somebody a hug. Go dap up one of your boys and tell them you appreciate them, cuz you might be the only person that says that to them today, and they're going to remember that.
Them to the fullest extent and then beyond, as you never really know what you got until it's gone.
A little bit of a drawn out fade out, but I can forgive it, man. That was a fantastic track. Maybe a couple things that I thought could be different here and there, but regardless, masterful delivery from Immortal Technique. Beautiful, fantastic storytelling. And, even if the ending isn't beautiful, it's, even if it's sad, there's beauty in that as well, man. And, whatever inspired this, whether a true story from his past, a work of fiction inspired by real events, or whatever it might be, just absolutely amazing work. Thank you to Mentu Sun for the suggestion. Keep them coming in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys want to see for the next Technique Tuesday, in addition to any other artists you might want to see on the channel. Much love to everybody in the No Shoes gang. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit that bell, and I will see you all next time.